Alright, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into Part 8 of the advanced tutorial from Virtualization Options LLC, a Colorado-based research, education, and advisory organization. If you're an IT professional looking to deploy, manage, and actually operationalize machine learning at scale, you are absolutely in the right place. We are focusing exclusively on the critical concepts from Chapter 8 of this fantastic 10-part guide, building on what you've already learned to dive into advanced deployment strategies without rehashing any of the basics. Let's get into it.
Here is our agenda for today. 1. The ML paradigm shift. 2. Core ML algorithms. 3. Pre-processing and feature engineering. 4. Inside model training. And 5. Real-world IT applications. Section 1. The ML paradigm shift, from rules to patterns.
Look, traditional IT systems are built on explicit, rules-based logic, right? You write the script, and the system executes it blindly. But ML systems? They're completely different. They are entirely data-driven. They learn directly from historical data to automatically detect anomalies or predict hardware failures at massive scale. It's kind of like traditional IT is following a rigid step-by-step map, whereas ML is a rover, actively learning how to navigate in real time based on the actual terrain it encounters.
Now, thinking about that shift, a pretty provocative question comes up. If these ML systems are so autonomous and so good at learning from data on their own, why are these advanced models completely useless without you? It's a great question, and it's exactly where the rubber meets the road for IT operations. An algorithm sitting on a laptop is just a science project. Bringing it into reality requires a totally different skill set.
And here is the crucial point. Your new role as an IT professional is acting as the deployment, infrastructure, and reliability layer. That is what actually makes operational ML possible. Sure, the models might hold the intelligence, but you hold the keys to the infrastructure, the compute, the networking, the storage, and the data pipelines that keep these models breathing, scaling, and functioning in the real world. Without IT professionals architecting that environment, those algorithms literally cannot survive in production.
Section 2. Core ML Algorithms, the Fundamentals.
We'll kick this off with supervised learning. This algorithm trains on labeled data to predict specific outcomes. Because it learns from established, clearly tagged examples, like, say, years of historical system logs meticulously marked as healthy or error. It's absolutely perfect for tasks like automated log classification, predicting known disk failures, or fraud detection. You're basically handing the model an answer key so it can learn how to grade the test itself moving forward.
On the flip side, we have unsupervised learning. This one finds hidden patterns without relying on any predefined labels at all. You just feed it a massive ocean of raw data, and it clusters it based on inherent similarities. For an IT environment, this is your ultimate digital watchdog. It's ideal for grouping complex network traffic or spotting zero-day anomalies, because it can detect when something just looks weird or deviates from the baseline, even if you don't actually know what you're looking for yet.
And finally, reinforcement learning. This operates on continuous reward and penalty loops. Think of it as a system learning by trial and error to maximize a very specific goal, like keeping network latency under 50 milliseconds. This is the exact engine that powers highly advanced, self-healing networks and dynamic adaptive resource allocation across your cloud infrastructure. It's constantly testing its environment, learning from the feedback, and adjusting itself to optimize performance.
Section 3. Pre-processing and feature engineering. Garbage in, garbage out.
So these 3 critical steps of data preprocessing pretty much dictate your ultimate success. First up, data quality as infrastructure. If you have missing values or inconsistent timestamp formats, that will completely corrupt your model training. Second, normalization and encoding. You've got to level out drastically different data scales mathematically so the model doesn't get confused. And text categories are simply encoded into numbers. And third, strict train, validation, and test splits are absolutely non-negotiable. If your data is messy, your predictions will be useless.
Let's dig into that third step just a bit more, the standard 70-15-15 split. You're using 70% of your data for learning, 15% for validation and tuning, and reserving that final 15% strictly for testing. Listen, data leakage is the silent killer of model accuracy here. If your test data ever accidentally touches your training data, your model is essentially cheating on the final exam. It'll look like an absolute genius in the lab, but then completely crash and burn in production. You have to treat these data pipelines with the exact same rigor and security as your live production systems.
Building on all that clean data, we move to feature engineering, which is all about turning raw data into actual usable signal.
You do this through feature selection, stripping out irrelevant variables to build leaner, faster models. Then there's feature creation, deriving powerful new metrics, like calculating requests per second from a raw log timestamp to give the model way better context. Finally, dimensionality reduction uses techniques like PCA and TSNE to compress massive datasets down to their most essential elements. That is critical for maintaining compute performance and keeping latency low at scale.
Section 4. Inside model training. What actually happens under the hood?
A massive distinction you really need to grasp here is the difference between parameters and hyperparameters. Parameters are the internal rules and weights that the model learns automatically during training. But hyperparameters, things like the learning rate, the depth of decision trees, and the number of training cycles, or epochs, those are the dials and knobs set by you. Think of parameters as the engine figuring out how to run efficiently based on the fuel it gets, while hyperparameters are you pressing the gas pedal, shifting the gears, and defining the actual boundaries of how fast it can go.
Now, while you're tuning those hyperparameters, you have to meticulously balance the risk of overfitting. Overfitting happens when a model essentially memorizes the training data, but then completely falls flat when it encounters new, live data in production. To fix this, you force the model to generalize using regularization techniques and cross-validation. For instance, a really common technique randomly turns off parts of the neural network during training. It's honestly a lot like intentionally unplugging servers or using a chaos monkey to test your system's resilience. It forces the remaining parts of the model to get stronger and more adaptable to sudden changes.
Section 5. Real-world IT applications. High-impact operations.
So, what does this all mean for your day-to-day operations? Let's talk about predictive maintenance. By training models on standard server telemetry, things like CPU usage, disk I/O, and thermal data, you can establish a highly accurate proactive maintenance window. Instead of waking up to a 3 a.m. pager alert because a hard drive unexpectedly crashed, these systems can flag hardware failures anywhere from 24 to 72 hours before they even happen. That is up to 72 hours to calmly swap out failing components during normal business hours. Pretty amazing, right?
Furthermore, in the high-stakes realm of security threat detection, the applications are absolutely critical. Utilizing what we learned earlier, supervised models can instantly classify known attack signatures, while unsupervised models continuously monitor the baseline to immediately flag anomalous network behavior. And they do all of this operating with incredible sub-second latency, literally shutting down threats the exact moment they appear on the network to minimize the potential blast radius.
And when it comes to AI ops and log analysis, the results are frankly staggering. Natural language processing models can instantly parse millions of lines of unstructured log data to immediately surface the exact root cause of an outage. Implementing this intelligence can reduce your mean time to recovery by up to 60% in production environments. I mean, when every minute of downtime equals lost revenue and frustrated users, a 60% reduction is an absolute game changer.
But here's the takeaway. That massive reduction in MTTR proves exactly why your infrastructure expertise is the essential foundation for these modern systems. Machine learning isn't here to replace IT professionals. It heavily relies on your expertise to structure the data, manage those complex pipelines, ensure high availability, and actually achieve these production-level results. You are the bridge between theoretical data science and reliable IT operations.
As we wrap up this explainer on Chapter 8, I want to leave you with this critical warning directly from the Virtualization Options LLC source material. It states, a model deployed without monitoring is a model you've already lost control of. Considering all the complexity we just covered, the data pipelines, the hyperparameter tuning, the massive operational impact, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Are your deployed models fully monitored right now, or have you already lost control of them? Think about that as you evaluate your own infrastructure today.